Testing, testing. Okay, good. There I am. Oh, good morning, everyone. It's so good to see everybody here. I welcome each and every one of you and all of our family on live stream today. We're so happy to have you all here today, waving everybody. We are all connected. We are all one beautiful family. Yeah, amen. So I do ask you all to make sure your phones are turned off or silenced, please, as we begin. Okay. My name is Sandy Spurgeon, for those of you who don't know me, and I'll be the platform assistant today. And it's with great joy that I welcome Reverend Anand Anma, who will be, am I saying that correctly?
Anma? Okay.
Well, I'm learning pronunciation. But anyway, you all love me, and I know I can make mistakes, so it's good. But anyway, I would like to welcome her today. As you all may know, she is a candidate for our senior minister position. And today, she will be giving the talk and doing the meditation and the invocation. So we're very, very happy to have her today. So the other thing is not on the schedule to announce, but I have to announce this. Our musicians today are Drew Tousley, who is a regular, and we are featuring today Tom, Chesko, and Reverend Jere. So I just wanted you all to be ready for that because it should be very, very special. Okay, so do I have anyone here that's here for the very first time? Anybody? If you would be so kind as to raise your hand, that would be great. All right, no, it looks like we're all familiar family today. Carolyn Homan will be our chaplain today, so if you are in need of prayer today, you'd like individual prayer, she will meet you in the chapel, which is out the sanctuary to the left and around the corner there. You'll see the little chapel. You're welcome to join her there. And if you would like to have the Healing Circle group pray with you for healing, there is a form you can fill out right near the restrooms. You just fill that out and place it in this heart, and we will get to it and set up an appointment for you. All right. Okay, so now we come to the time of lighting our Christ candle. So I just invite you all to take a nice deep breath and just be fully present here in the sanctuary together, where we are all one. With gratitude, we gather as the unique expressions of the divine presence that we are. We pause to feel into this life force that invites us to be a creative partner with it. We now allow it to fully embody within our whole being. We also sense and feel the connection that exists between each one of us, the universal web of intelligence that we partake in as the human race. As we appreciate our web of connectivity with one and all, moving from a me to a we focus, we express our desire to unite with all humanity through the energy of compassion and kindness. We invite this energy to now rise up within us while extending outward to connect with Mother Earth and all sentient beings. This uniting spirit of oneness, of the one I am presence, we call the Christ. We light this candle now as a reminder that we are all blessed by being a part of this one presence. It is the truth. Let us own it and make it real in our lives. Amen. Now, if you'd like to stand, And we're going to have our opening song, Practicing the Presence. I'm so sorry. For your name.
2, 3, 4. Practicing the presence of illuminated light, we stand together as one, witnessing the essence of the one behind all life. We stand together and we all join hands and the hearts open wide. Come feel the power of love inside. Yes, we walk in love and we stand for peace, practicing the presence of the one. Practicing the presence of the one. Practicing the presence of the one. We're going to do it again. Practicing the presence of the one teaching life. We stand together as one, witnessing the essence of the thing behind all life. We stand together as one, and we all join hands, and we hearts open wide. Come feel the power of love inside. As we walk in love, and we stand for peace, practicing the presence of the one. Practicing the presence of the one. Practicing the presence of the one. Thank you.
So now you can greet your neighbor.
Can I go down?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, please do.
So loving kindness, right, so we got a few minutes left. That's the hard thing, always. Thank you. Thank you. We do this up.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay, I invite you all back to your seats.
Well, I was going to say that we're continuing on our study of What's in the Way is the Way by Mary O'Malley. And it is we, but I'm a latecomer to it. We'll be doing All is Welcome Here, All is Well, Come Here today. And we wore our indigo. Nice, everybody. And I have a sneak preview for next week. Because I won't be with you, so I wanted to get my purple, my violet in. I'd like to acknowledge the land on which we are gathering today, the ancestral and current homelands of the Nis Anan people who have lived in this region for thousands of years, maintaining a deep connection to the land despite colonization and termination of their federal recognition in 1964. We honor their ancestral and physical presence, their contribution, and their stewardship. I feel compelled to say welcome, but I'm the newcomer here. As if on cue. I really feel it. This community has really love-bombed Vijay and I can't tell you how much it means to us and how I hope that every person here and on this planet can feel the level of unconditional love that we've been given from you. I really feel like that would solve all of it, right there. You're succeeding. So we're talking about feeling our feelings through this book, and this beautiful Rumi poem, which is new to me. In the last year or so, a dear friend of mine, Mia, gave it to me when I was having a turbulent moment. Might be familiar or new to you, but it's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness that comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. There's an exclamation point there. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. All right.
Okay, so we're going to do the prayer, time for prayer. All right, again, if you just settle in, just be fully present in this time as we offer prayer for those on our prayer list and in your hearts. So together we set the intention that as each name on our prayer list is read, that person is bathed in love and their highest good comes to them. And so it is. So we pray today for Kathy Gabori, who's Dennis's sister, Owen Kim, Dr. Rob Woodhall, Danielle White, Brianna Hanaway, Carolyn Duty, Ava Mora, Trevor and Caroline Koziris, Karen Haynes, Ellen H., Les Brown, and for all of those who are affected by the Southern California fires that are hopefully coming to a close now, and for healing and peace in our world, for our future minister and ministry, and may we remember the whole of love empowering our prayers. And we can say together, there is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. So now we will read the daily word. Today's word is freedom. Christ within is my source of freedom. You want to repeat that with me? The Christ within is my source of freedom. For freedom is my spiritual birthright. I live my freedom when I speak my mind, pursue my dreams, and live with dignity and self-respect. It means I am self-directed, and I use my spiritual gifts of understanding, faith, love, and strength to guide my decisions and actions. As I do, I feel free. I do what I can to support freedom for myself and others. I honor and give thanks for all those whose courage and dedication in service have helped build and sustain a world where all people can know true freedom. In prayer, I envision a harmonious human community that assures everyone's basic needs are met, respects differing viewpoints, and celebrates the unique expression of God that each person is. The Christ within is my source of freedom. Just take that in. Amen. So now we're going to move on to the meditation.
I invite you to land where you're seated. Allow the support of the chair, the earth, the building to really support you. You can soften your gaze or lower your eyelids however you like, making yourself feel very comfortable in your seat. Begin by observing your breath. No need to change it. Just observe the inhale and the exhale. Let your awareness settle in your heart center, the home of that divine spark within you. Bring to mind someone you love, including a beloved pet, that can help amplify this. Feel into the energy of love or bliss as it arises in your heart. Let it fill your heart space. Effortlessly allow the breath in and out from your heart center. Bring that loving awareness to any place in you that wants your attention, seeks harmony or love. As you do this, gently move your awareness from that space within to the shared sacred space of this group. Feel your heart opening to the energy field in the space between one another. Gently return back to your individual self. Move your awareness down to your feet. Feel your feet planted firmly beneath you. Imagine roots growing out from your feet, tapping you into the energy of the earth. With each inhale, draw the earth energy up through your feet, that stable yet alchemizing energy, and into your legs. Become aware of your incarnated embodiment within your grounded presence. Keeping your connection to the earth, draw that earth energy up into your gut space, your spiritual womb. This is a moment of vital centering. Allow yourself to be held in the flowing embrace of your womb, the wellspring of your divine identity. Open to any intuitive or creative outflow that may arise. Continue drawing energy from the earth through your feet, your legs, your spiritual womb, and rising even higher into your big open heart. By simple intention, let the earth energy flow out from your heart into the we space, our collective space, among our group here and online. The same energy flowing through all and connecting us all as one. We are not separate from the earth. We are not separate from one another, nor are we separate from the divine. At a deeper than cellular level, feel your interbeing with one another. Let us rest here, together. Aware of this connection to all, return within, back to your radiant heart. Now gently move the energy from your heart up to your head. Connected to the energy of your body and the we space. Allow yourself to rest from thought within a vibrant stillness. From your whole being, move once more out into the we space, coming into resonance. Energetically grounded to the earth, your spiritual womb flowing with creativity and intuition, your heart transmitting in radiant connection, and your mind settled with still clarity. Now we are ready for what might emerge or what we might know. We are one with all. Sensing what arises in each other, in ourselves, and for the world. In this space, we invite wisdom, intuition, and knowing to arise within us. We give thanks for this meditative experience and for whatever may have come to us in our shared consciousness. You're welcome to stay within, or if you like, you can join us in the next song.
Be filled with loving kindness, joy I be well, may I be peaceful and at ease, may I be happy, may you be filled with loving kindness, may you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease, may you be happy, may we be filled with loving kindness, may we be well, little happiness for you.
All is welcome here. All is welcome. All is well. Come here. Several years ago, I was talking on the phone with one of my besties, Katie, and we were so amped because we were making plans for our road trip. She was going to take her 1-year-old son and meet me in San Francisco, and we were going on a road trip. We were going to play groupies for her husband's band. We were going to drive down the coast and stop at all the ways where he was singing in his band and just have a great time. We'd never done anything like that together. We were so excited. And, we're like, okay, I'll talk to you later. Next steps are A, B, and C. I'll talk to you later. Well, later that night, I was out with some friends at dinner, and she called. And so I was really excited. Like, ooh, more plans, but I'm with my friends, so I want to be present for them. She called back again. So I thought, okay, maybe she needs to buy the tickets right now or something, and I'll give her the attention that she's requiring. So I pick up the phone, and she says in a very small voice, I just want you to know that Felipe died today. You can see that it still has an impact on me. When I wrote this, it didn't have this kind of impact, but you provide that space where it's very safe to welcome it all. It turns out that he had a congenital heart defect and he died in the car at a stop sign. The only thing I could do was, collapse and then say, I'm on the next plane, I'll be there soon as I can. And when my friends pick me up at the airport and they're taking me to their house, to Felipe and Katie's house, all I could think of was, how is it ever going to be normal again? Laughter was such a huge part of our relationship. How are we ever going to laugh again? And I got to the house and it was teeming with people because Felipe was one of those people who is everyone's best friend. And then I heard some laughter, and then I heard some sobbing. And I knew at some point during the 10 days that I was there with Katie and their son Rio, their 1-year-old son Rio, and all these people who loved and adored Felipe, we've got to take our broken hearts and break them open. Let this heartache, this heartbreak, break us open. And that was really the quality that Felipe had shown us. He knew from 12 years old that he might have a very short life. And he really made the most of it, leaning in, welcoming it all. He was such a good example to all of us. Grief is a really beautiful and savage teacher. In Unity, we know that dying is just a change of address, right? It's a milestone on this spiritual evolutionary journey. And our humanity knows that that can feel savage. That can feel just too intense, too much to handle. And Mary O'Malley is inviting us to lean in, receive it, welcome it. And not just for our expansion of our emotional bandwidth, our emotional intelligence, and our spiritual evolution. Those are really nice concepts, but so that we can feel more deeply, not just the hard, but the bliss, the peace, the pleasure that is our birthright as humans. Grief is funny because an Irish friend of mine, Tom, he was sitting with me when I was grieving our dog, Ingy, who died of cancer. and I was really leaning in. I didn't really have any place to go except for in. There's no loss like a pet, right? I mean, they just burrow their right into your heart and leave a space. So he was sitting with me and he said, you know, in my culture in Ireland, we love sitting with grievers because they give us the opportunity to grieve the ungrieved bits. Those pieces that we couldn't necessarily handle in the moment, they can arise in a friendlier way, and we can sit with them, and we can welcome them, and we can know that all is well. Come here. Right? There are some obstacles to integrating, metabolizing, fully feeling grief. You know, it's no coincidence that this sermon came through me. I woke up one morning and it was coming. I had to get the pen and paper quickly so that I could be with it. It's not a coincidence. This congregation is in a big transition right now. And we as a culture are learning how potent transition is and how important it is to give the importance it's due, the attention that it's due. So some of the obstacles to metabolizing grief. One is, I've done this, playing possum. You know, I'm frozen, I'm curled up, I can't really, it's too much, I can't really handle it. Another one is bypassing. Anybody good at like platitudes? Oh, it all happens for a reason, and the reason is good. Meanwhile, like, like pushing it aside and repressing it. Mary O'Malley talks about compulsion. We lean on compulsion as a very convenient distraction from feeling the feelings. And that can look like anything. You know, we've got these little pocket-sized compulsion devices now, you know? And before them, there was food and shopping and gambling and sex and alcohol and drugs and, you know, all number of things. We can really make anything a compulsion. Busyness. Anyone busy? Outrunning a feeling like we talked about yesterday? Yeah. So she does such a beautiful job of talking about compulsion as a way to just distract us from what needs to be expressed and dealt with and felt. Another one is something we could talk all day about, which is anticipatory grief. And that's a beautiful thing because it honors what's happening, like the transition between now and what we know is inevitable. And it's giving homage to that. But our minds can also trick us into thinking that when that event that we know is coming happens, then we've done that, we've handled that, it's okay. I've already grieved, I've pre-grieved it, I got it. Thinking we can get out of the heavy lifting, right, of the actual. Anybody relate? Is that the laughter of recognition? Yeah, okay, right on, I'm not the only person here, okay. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, you know, we all know the 5 stages of grief, blah, blah. She wrote a follow-up book decades after On Death and Dying, after she'd applied it and saw its frailties and saw the depth of it, but also what was missing. And this book was called On Grief and Grieving. And it's very poignant because she wrote it as she was on the down escalator. She co-wrote it because she needed some support to get it finished. This is a quote from On Grief and Grieving. Grief is the opening up to the exquisite pain of absence. The exquisite pain of absence. It's the moment you stop trying to move on or change how much it hurts and just let it out. It's it's completely in alignment with what Mary O'Malley has been saying in this book. Like the way, what's in the way is the way. The way out is the way through. All is welcome here, even if it's savage. So similarly, there's some myths about grief, and there's a thing called the grief recovery method. There's a handbook, there's a process, there's an institute, and it was founded by John James and Russell Friedman. And John James started it because he lost an infant son. Lost is like such a euphemism. His infant son died. And he went to expert after expert, grief counselor, here, there, everywhere. He got no relief. Nothing helped. And he had familiarity with the 12 steps. And so he created his own system to help do what he calls completing grief. And that doesn't mean that he ever forgot his son or celebrated his son, but he was able to take the grip out by completing the incompletes that were left by this very sudden death. So he and Russell came up with, as they worked with people year after year, they got to identify 6 myths about grief that are externally imposed. And as I went through, I've been through this process twice. It's very powerful, and I highly, highly recommend it. As I was reviewing these, I realized how much we can do it to ourselves. Yes, it's external, but how much we can internalize these myths as well. So the first one is, don't feel bad. And that's a level of intellectualizing it. Telling myself, or telling you, like, it's okay, neck up response to a whole body, emotional, spiritual response, right? Don't feel bad. Oh, they're in a better place now. Oh, isn't it great they're not suffering anymore? Oh, there's other fish in the sea with a breakup. Or in the case of our miscarriage, it's okay, you can try again. The implied message there is don't feel bad, right? And I can internalize that with the bypassing that I mentioned. Everything happens for a reason. Meanwhile, dying inside. The second myth is, what is that? Replace the loss. So Jimmy's puppy dies or dog dies. Get another one. There's a divorce. Find somebody else. Right? But what Mary's talking about here, I think, the way I interpret it is, we replace it with that compulsion. Those compulsions. I'm replacing the loss with browsing, with Netflix, with eating, with other behaviors. They talk about in the grief recovery process, STIRBs, which are stress. What is it? STIRB. It's like a temporary emotional relief behavior. But it's still there. It's just like a quick fix that doesn't actually do anything. So she calls them compulsions. They call them STIRBs. The third myth is grieve alone. And there's this air of nobody wants to see that. Not here, not in this community, but we've experienced it elsewhere, right? Still, it's been a year. Are you still feeling that? Oh, okay. And can't we internalize that too? I've done the A, B, C, D things to process this. Nobody wants to hear about it. It's been 2 years. It's been 5 years. Number 4, just give it time. Time heals all wounds. Anyone here have something that's still kind of, that's more than a year old? Yeah. 5 years old? 10, 20, 30? Yeah. Time might give us some distance from it, but the grip can still be there if we're not able to metabolize it or complete it, as they're talking about. Number 5, be strong for others. When my mom was in her last year, I didn't consciously adopt this. By the way, I did all of them that year, and more, I'm sure. I had an unnamed, unaware compulsion to be there, to be strong for her. She's the one doing all the heavy lifting. She's the one in and out of hospital. She's the one who lost her house and can't live independent anymore. And my nieces, she raised them, so I've got to be there for them. You know the drill, right? And that can be external. People can say, oh, you've really got to be strong for the kids right now. Or it can be internal, like I did to myself. And the last one, we talked about this yesterday. Keep busy. Keep busy. I'm sure you'll be able to outrun the grief if you just keep busy. That's something I've told myself way too many times. So the thing about the obstacles that we talked about, the possum, bypassing compulsion, anticipatory grief, and the myths from the grief recovery, these can actually be milestones of the grief. They can serve a purpose. I've certainly done some binge watching as an integration tool, right? Sometimes we need a break. But none of them are sustainable in the long run. We can go there as necessary, and then we can come out and say, all is well, come here. All right, I'm here for it. I'm leaning in. So some ways that we can metabolize, we can use the obstacles. We can welcome them. We can welcome the myths as well, become aware of them, use them intentionally rather than being at the effect of them. But some other ways that we can metabolize is gathering. Coming together with people who don't want you to keep quiet about it, with the people who say, oh, tell me more about your mom. Tell me some of the cool things or even the hard things about your relationship. People who will bring casseroles and sit with you and knit with you or make you laugh or distract you if that's what you want. And we'll bring big belly laughs to the moment for you. We can create ritual. We can lean on established rituals, or we can create our own. When my mom died, we had a celebration of life in the world-famous tattered cover bookstore in Denver. That was her church. Really. And she worked there as a retirement job. Her first paycheck was $1.29 because all of her pay went back into books. And thank you for gathering and hearing stories about my mom. That, helps with the grief. And we had fun and food and hilarity, and we created our own ritual. Growing up, we had the front porch, and people would come to the front porch, and they'd gather, and she always had hospitality for them. And even in the winter in Colorado, we'd be bundled up and on the porch. And so my best friend, who I've known my whole life, I have a lot of best friends too, she created a banner out of pages from a book to show this part of the bookstore is the front porch if you want to gather. very small, beautiful ritual that helped us get through it. Other friends flew in who'd never met my mom, and they decorated the place. They interviewed me, and they made framed pictures of qualities of hers. They made a collage of pictures, and they manned the Zoom. It was right before the pandemic, so a lot of us got to gather, but we also had it on Zoom. We can expand by sitting with it. And we do whatever we need to in order to sit with it. Whether it's asking somebody, will you sit with me as I sit in this? Or a special breathing, or a grief retreat, or a silent retreat, or any number of things that your heart is calling for to allow you to sit with it, to lean into it, to really celebrate the essence that you are. Mary talks about the 3 levels. The first is the intellect that's telling us the stories and has the spells, right? The things that keep us in suffering. And then the next one is the mechanism of the personas or the parts that really, the shadow bits that really reinforce the story spells. But then under all of that is our true nature, our essence. So going to where we need to go, whether it's physically or just visually, to be in that essence and allowing that essence that we are to filter up and to meet those rough and ragged and savage places. We can seek support. So, with my mom passing, I had several thresholds. Like, I'd be doing okay for a while, and then I was like, I am not okay. I need some support. And did you know that hospice, if you have a loved one who dies in hospice, that they provide free grief counseling? And also some of them have like grief art workshops and hiking groups and these kinds of things, all free. And your loved one need not have even died at that hospice, because my mom died in Denver hospice. I lived in Santa Cruz, and they took care of me there. So I got some grief counseling. And then I was feeling okay, and I was going along, and then boom! The thing about grief is you can't put it on your calendar, right? It comes seemingly unbidden, and I needed some more support. And then the grief recovery method appeared in the face of a friend who was certified in it and walked me through that process. And then there's been other thresholds where I just needed to talk about her. And I had somebody who listened to the stories of her and helped me keep her alive. So I want to take a moment to give ourselves a moment to tap into that essence, but also pay some loving awareness to the first storyteller, spellbinder, spellcaster, and the persona. So if you like, you can soften your gaze or lower your eyes. And just notice what's arising. What's arising? What are you feeling in your body? And without trying to fix it or solve it or make it go away, just shine the light of loving awareness on it. All is welcome here. Nothing to fix, solve, make go away. And just notice what happens to it as you give it a little bit of love. It might expand, it might shrink, it might stay the same. All is welcome here. All is well. come here. This is something that we can do at any time. And if things arise and they don't complete in the moment, we can even allow their presence to run quietly in the background. Not repressing, not denying. It's just like turning down the volume of the radio just a little bit and allowing it to be in the background so that we're not repressing, depressing, denying. And then when we have the time or the space or the inclination, we can turn it up again. And for the moment, you can complete it however you like, however you need, whether it's just turning down the knob or feeling completion for now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I love the idea of embracing grief as love, and even as an act of self-love. There's a quote from chapter 1 in our book. She writes, "The more you are curious about what you are experiencing rather than trying to change it, the more you discover an amazing truth. You naturally know how to partner with life instead of always trying to change it." And in this case, we're talking about life as expressed in grief. You also see that no object, person, or experience will ever bring you the deep and lasting peace that comes from simply being open to life. You then become less interested in trying to create your reality and more willing to show up for life as it unfolds. So we're naturally built to know how to partner with life. And in that partnership, when we welcome it all, when we say all is welcome here, and we're saying all is well, come here, we're not just growing spiritually, which can sometimes feel like a task. We're not just expanding our emotional intelligence, our emotional bandwidth, which sometimes can feel like an obligation or something to tick the box. But we're also expanding our capacity to give and receive love. We're expanding our capacity to be the peace. We're expanding pleasure and joy in us, and we're giving others permission to do the same. We magnify it, we radiate it, we celebrate it, because all is well. Come here.
All right. Thank you so very much for that message. All right. So we come to our time of love offerings. So here we go. So if you would take your love offering in your hand and hold it over your heart. And if you're giving with someone else, maybe hold hands as we bless these offerings. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. All right.
So a few weeks ago, when we knew that Anand was going to be with us today, I chose some music, not really looking at the calendar or anything like that, but I think you will agree that the song that we're about to sing is probably one that fits for everybody, regardless of which side of the political divide you might be on. And it has a very profound and deep message for us.
So we would like to introduce the Tom and Jerry trio. I'm the void in the middle.
You might win a battle, you could win a race, outrun your rivals, come in first place. You could lose your center in the push and the pull, or simply surrender and tune into love. Love's not a contest, it's just who we are. Both the light and the shadow are at home in the heart. Beyond the struggle, there's music to play and songs to be singing at the end of the day. Love wins, love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love knows no boundaries. It's the light in our eyes, familiar to all, universally prized. There's a world of compassion. We're good to begin. We could just stop fighting and let love win. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love, join us. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. Love wins. Love wins. All is well in the end. Love wins. New life begins. Love wins.
So we have blessed these gifts in our hearts, and we dedicate it to unity in the Gold Country and the work of unity worldwide. Thank you. And if you're ever in doubt, just look up here. Love wins. So we have some announcements. Wasn't that great, Jerry? It was so beautiful. Thank you. That was an amazing song. Thank you. All right, so just some announcements. We have the fall silent auction is in full swing, as you can see by the many items we have on the board. Bid sheet, you need to have your bid in by November 24th, and we will do it before that service starts. So make sure your bid is in. And there's a lot of crushes there. If you don't have a crush and you want a crush, these crushes, we had 100 of them. And we went through our storage and pulled out the ones we thought you might be interested in. So we would love to have you take a crush home with you. Many of them were donated by Lita Spoto. A new member orientation is on November 10 a.m. on November 23rd, and our new members will be welcomed during our service on the 24th. So if you're interested in that, there is a blue form in the back that you can fill out. Or online. Yes, you can do it online. Thank you. Sitting in the Power of Meditation, Claire Palmerino will be holding a training in meditation. We will be using in this group the meditation will be guided by Michael Mayo, who was here, the medium that was here doing that class for us. It's going to be on Wednesdays beginning November 20th through December 18th from 11:30 to 12:30. All right. Food banks. Now you all see our barrels out there. We're collecting food for the food bank and non-perishable food only. We've always done stuffing boxes as well. So, we fill the barrels with stuffing very often. And so whatever you can bring would be very welcome and appreciated. The other announcement I have is that we have an evaluation form, or just a feedback form, for Reverend Anand. And if you would please fill it out and turn it in, there's a basket, a little basket out in the front that you can drop it in for us. And if you're doing the evaluation online, just have it done by this evening. Is that correct? By 5 o'clock this evening, if you would. All right? We really appreciate your feedback today. Okay, so there's a basket out in the main entry. Okay, and will somebody be out there, Carly? Okay, so Carly will be there so she can guide you. All right, so we're acknowledging our volunteers and participants for this service. Our speaker, Reverend Anand. Thank you so very much for being here. Our musicians, Drew Tousley, Tom Chesko, and Reverend Jere. Greeters, Carolyn Homan, Nancy Chandray, Joe Darby. Our ushers, Larry Homan, Karen Homan, chaplain Carolyn Homan. We have the Homan family here today. And Francesco's with the kids, so that's wonderful. Hospitality, Mary Cooper, Marge, Florence. Sound, Ed Dennis. Live stream, Kelly Garmeyer. Gift and bookshop, Rosie Doherty. Altar, Mary Jo Kim. And the children, Catherine Arbini and Francie Veenstra. And then on behalf of the search committee, that's Carly, Claire, and myself, I just want to say a special thank you and gratitude for our beautiful angels who came forward to provide food for our guests, Reverend Anand and her beloved husband, VJ, and the board. Our little angels provided just such nourishing food for us, and I'm so grateful to Julia Hamilton and her sister Lisa, and to Sue Downing, who provided food for yesterday. Thank you. And just know from our hearts to yours that you are so appreciated and so loved. Thank you. All right, so I think we're about ready for... Oh, yes, thank you. There will be a question and answer where Reverend Anand would be happy to answer your questions. We invite you to stay and exchange questions with her if you have any. So it'll be right after you get coffee and something to snack on, and then come forward into the seats here. Okay? All right, so we have our unity prayer. So if you would all stand and join together. As we begin, the light
Of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God God is, and I am, and all is well. Come here.
All right.
Love be with you, peace unfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Peace flow through you, make good flow to you, forever renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you, love be with you. Love be with you. Love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free, and share His blessing. Love be with you, for you, Spirit lift you, truth unto you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you. Love be with you. Love be with you. Love be with you. Peace unfold you. Spirit lift you.
Breathe it in.
It's done for you. May good flow to you. Joy renew you. Till we meet again, till we meet again, love be with you.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful week. God bless you all.